What's up, guys? This is future soaking wet Brad from Piney Grove. You're about to watch me bale hay, and this is after I turned the camera off on that video and I worked and got all of those bales inside before it rained. Actually, I got them inside while it was raining. So as you go through the video, try to keep track of how many bales we got. Go over to our Facebook page, which is Piney Grove Homestead and Mini Farm, and we'll post how many bales we got from our 5 acres here at Piney Grove. Okay, back to past Brad. He's about to cut some hay. What's up, guys? Brad here from Piney Grove, and today we're going to be using this mini baler out on Piney Grove to bale about 5 acres of hay. Now, this is a borrowed baler from a friend, Mr. Greg Bush at Bush Services. He's the one that drilled our well out here at Piney Grove. And what he said is that this thing will sometimes get overloaded with hay. We actually read the operator's manual. We took off some of the guards because it says for longer grass, take some of these guards off. So we've done that. And again, I don't have anything to measure this against, but this is supposed to be a real good machine for baling pine straw and also hay. So if it can work well in the woods for like thousands of bales before there's any breakdowns, hopefully it won't break down on me today. Walk around before we hook it up. You've got your net wrap there, PTO shaft, 3-point hitch hookup. It's all electrically controlled. So here's the electrical control box. The PTO drives a hydraulic motor, so you don't need hydraulics. This is the back lift gate that will spit out a bale, hopefully. And various adjustments and controls. This is just one side. There's a maze of pulleys and belts and chains. I mentioned this baler is PTO driven, but it also needs an electrical source to run the electrical motors. And I don't have a cigarette lighter or a 12-volt receptacle on this tractor. So I stopped by AutoZone and I got this. And if there's an Amazon link, I'll put it down below to make it easier for you guys to find one if you need one. Quick rundown of how it's hooked up, red to red, black to black with my alligator clips. I use some tie straps here. Actually, I use zip ties, but sometimes I call them tie straps in my video and people lose their mind over that. Anyway, what do you call them? Leave a comment down below. Took this and ran it through the top there, out through my fuel filler port, and then I zip tied it here to my hydraulic line, and then bundled it all up and zip tied it here. I've got power. This is upside down, but I turn that to manual. You'll see the green light comes on. Then this cord goes back and powers the baler. And that really is about all I know about it. All right, guys, I think we're ready to mow. I got it lined up on a windrow. And I'll try to capture this as it happens, but what it does is it goes along, it makes a small bale in there, a 2x2 bale, and then it's supposed to beep. That electrical control panel that's magnetized to my fender is gonna beep really loud. And then I tell it to draw out, which means pull out the netting and wrap. And then I tell it to open the gate and dump. There's an automatic mode, but Greg said to run it in the manual mode. All right, I just put it in manual mode. There goes nothing. Making noise. It's stuck. I went that far. It didn't make any noise on the controller. And now I think it's jammed up. It stopped, but it never beeped to tell me to do anything. But then I opened the door and it spit out a bale. This thing's gonna have a steep learning curve. I think I figured it out. I think it's getting in the dirt with the pickup teeth or tines. And I gotta raise it up. It's down too low. Put the wheels just on the ground and use a chain on the other side to adjust it. There's this chain right here that adjusts how high that head goes. Let's try that because it baled fine. Well, that helped. Let me show you how I don't drive very good. So I missed a strip of hay here. And then going down there, you can see I left a little hay. There's a lot going on, so I'm not really staying centered on the row. If you go back and watch my hay rake video, you'll see I tried to make this windrow as narrow as possible, and now you can see why. So I was waiting for the beep to stop and roll the netting. I had the controller in the off position, not the manual, so I never heard the beep. And so it jammed up before it could tell me to spit out the bale. I think if I just get this bale out, we'll be fine. The problem is, in order to run this hydraulic gate, you need a PTO running. In order to have the PTO running, you gotta be sitting in the seat of the tractor. If you're sitting in the seat of the tractor, you can't turn this lever to hold this gate up. Get this gate up, that bale will come out. Really nice bale though. It's as high as that goes. I was wondering why it didn't tell me to wrap it. It's because it wasn't on. Mighty fine bale. My goodness, I just feel so dumb, but here's the first time for everything, and I'm definitely making every mistake you can make. There's always that steep learning curve when you have something new, a new piece of equipment, new tractor, new vehicle. Deb just got a new Toyota Highlander, and that thing's got more buttons than an airplane. But I think we're gonna be okay going forward. I think I've got it. But man, I'm already wore out. I got all this to mow behind me, or all this to bale behind me. Well, the learning curve is steep, but here's what I found out. After I got that bale out, I hit the PTO and nothing would move, nothing would turn. PTO shaft turned, but the pickup teeth didn't turn. And then I remembered reading the owner's manual, always read the owner's manual, that there's a shear bolt here on the drive gear. And I guess when the bale got too full, it kept trying to pack the bale, so it sheared off this bolt. And luckily, I remember Greg telling me behind the seat of the tractor was a box. I looked in that box, and sure enough, there's a few shear bolts in there. Get this bolt in here, should be back in business. Rain's coming, and I ain't got no hay bale. All right, I got it in. Yeah, that's the right bolt for it. I think we're gonna be back in business. Okay, let's try this again. I feel like we're gonna get it this time. I think we're gonna get a wrapped bale as we go up this windrow. Yes! I hit draw out, then I hit, after it wrapped it, I hit open gate and out it came. It's a nice tight bale. I don't know what it weighs, probably 40-ish pounds. Now if I can do that about 50 more times and get this field done before it rains, that'll be awesome. All right guys, we'll get you some footage of it actually baling when it's successful, but I really needed to get my act together and figure out how to make this machine work before I could talk about it. But you'll see I've done, I don't know, maybe a third of the pasture. I got 28 bales done, and that's the first bale right there that kicked out that didn't have the wrapping on it. And there's another bale way down there that doesn't have the wrapping on it, and I don't know why. I hit the wrapping, it looked like it was gonna wrap, and it kicked it out. I did make another mistake. My arm hit the switch and put the electric to the, or the electronics to the off position. So once again, I got a really, really big bale, but I noticed it before it sheared that pin again, and I noticed the switch was off. I put it to manual. I hit the net button. I rolled it. It rolled out a bigger bale, and I was able to dump it out the back and not get it caught. So I haven't had any issues where I've had to stop. Now, one time the netting that didn't net the bale way back there, the netting was too far in the machine. So I had to pull the netting off and cut it, but it wasn't tangled in the machine. I just cut it and left it drift down about 6 inches. But other than that, it went really smooth. And I was so frustrated with that machine, I was thinking I would never recommend this to anyone. But once you get it straight, once you get everything in alignment, and of course, turn the switches on and don't overload the machine, make sure that the pickup teeth aren't in the dirt, that they're just above the dirt. Once you get it set right, you can just go. I'm just nervous to go too fast, so I'm going real slow, so a hydrostatic tractor really helps out. Hydrostatic is really key here so that you can slow down when the hay gets thicker. I would say I'm running 540 RPM, so I'm not running full throttle. It wants 540 to 600 RPMs in this type of grass. I'm in four-wheel drive just so I don't slip. And I will stop, like I say, when a big piece of grass is there, I'll stop and let it ingest it. It has this little bale indicator. So the top of this rod will ride up as the bale gets bigger. So as the bale starts to get bigger, that electronic box will start screeching at you. And it doesn't beep, it's just bah! It's just really loud. Over top of the hydro, you can hear it with the ear protection on. And that tells you that you're getting close. And I will go like another 10 or 15 feet after that to get a little bit bigger bale. But you don't want to overdo that and hit a big clump, because then you'll shear that pin like I did earlier. The switch has an auto and off and a manual. I put it in manual mode, and then it'll make that loud noise, and then you'll hit that draw out button, and that puts the net around it, and you'll see the net spinning back there. You'll wait till the net stops spinning, and then you'll hit the gate open. And then the gate open just flips open. There's a little bar down there. And from the operator's seat, you actually can't see the bale. You got to kind of like stand up in the seat a little bit, and then you can see the bale. Otherwise, you wouldn't know that it kicked one out. But I'm going to set up the camera so that you can see how this works, and hopefully it works flawlessly, because I've got a lot to mow. I see the clouds are thickening. It's a good chance of rain this afternoon, so I not only have to mow, but I've got to pick up all these bales and put it inside the pole barn here. We're giving most of the hay to the guy that lent us the equipment to bale the hay, and also to make these videos. So we told him we'd give him the hay. He's got horses and goats and stuff, but we just wanted to learn the process and also document it. So if you're thinking about getting one of these balers, I would say they're a good baler. I think they're fairly expensive. I'll look it up and put on the screen how much they cost. But once you get them figured out, they work pretty good. I throttled down the tractor. Hopefully you heard the beeping or the buzzing. You hit the net roll, rolls the net. After it's done rolling, it kicks it out the back. This is some of our thicker grass. The bales should come quick here. When it works good. I keep pushing my luck. When I hear the beep, I keep going like 20 more feet and watching that little rod come up. I don't want it to hit red, but I want to get as big a bales as possible. I'm probably going to push it too hard and lock up the machine. I just thought of that. If it's in there and it's beeping, you could back the machine up to a trailer and then dump it out. All right, guys, I got rain clouds rolling in. I don't know if you can see them behind me. And I got a few more rows I got to bale, so I don't have time really to move the camera. But you see the results here of this little mini hay baler. I guess we got 50 or so bales out there. I hope I can get them in the shed before it rains, but I still got 20 more to bale. So I'm gonna go ahead and close out this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please click that like button. Otherwise, until the next one, y'all take care out there. And remember, life's short, tractor hard, and don't bale in the rain.